Hello everybody, Ian Robson here, and welcome back to Valley East, USA. Alright, we got what's going on today. If you recall from the previous episode, we planted some corn, and it is currently being harvested with our combine. And I'm going to grab the, where are we here, Massey Ferguson, the 8737. Yes, I remember that time. So we're going to grab this guy, and we're going to grab our trailer, which is just right over here as well. Let's turn this down just a smidgen. And we're going to go unload the combine. Apparently my phone wants to make noise. I apologize. So what we're going to do is turn my phone off so you can't hear it. There we go. That's better. And let's go. Ooh, what's with the ceiling? Well, those are supposed to be vents. Huh. Didn't realize that before. Alright, so let's get out of the yard, which is over this way. I don't know why. I always go the wrong direction. Or it feels like I go the wrong direction often, but after a while you start to get used to it. It's kind of a very strange yard. I'm used to like really open yards where they don't have any like fences, so you can basically enter and exit wherever you please almost. It's very strange. Strange for me at least, so especially when you're not used to it, so. I think this is all the real terrain mod from OEB. It's what I should do is I should disable the ground control mod from ground response mod from the drive control mod, and see what the difference is. But you can really, ever since I got the real terrain mod from OEB, you can really see like the tractor moving around, depending on what you're basically doing. It's kind of cool. So like here we're kind of bouncing around, then if I go in the field you can see how it kind of gets a little bit bumpier. It's really neat how they've done it. Alright, let's do 1, 2, 3. That should be the right one. And I don't know how full that combine is, but it's 80% already. So we're gonna go ahead and unload this guy here. But this is like the first time I've done like a corn harvest in a long time. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I've harvested corn actually. It must have been on Manchester, I suspect. Oh, there. That's what I thought was going to happen. Let's just back up here a little bit. There we go. Problem I'm going to run into is the trees. This is one of the reasons why I had it set to do a headland first. We don't have any oh, I wasn't sure if we had some vehicles, if you look carefully, some vehicles will have let's wait for that guy to go by. Some vehicles have a function where you can see the fill level of the trailer, but this one obviously does not, which is unfortunate, but it's not the first time I've seen that. But it's kind of cool when you do see a trailer with it, because you get to see like all of how much is in there. You get to see a whole bunch of random things depending on the vehicle. Some vehicles even show the time, which I think is amazing. For example, one of the fence I'm using shows the time, which is fantastic. In my mind, at least. It's fantastic. So, I don't know. One of the really cool things about this is a very, I guess this is a very American way of unloading the grain. You see these grain wagons like this all over the place. Very, very common around the United States. Although that Cat Lexion, they're starting to see more of them. You're starting to see more of them in the United States and in Canada. I've actually been in a Cat Lexion. I think it was a 970. There's a video on my YouTube channel about that. I'll put a card up right now if I remember to do that, so you'll have a little bit of information about that. Very cool to see inside one of the new combines. It's like, leaps and bounds difference in comparison to the old combines. It's crazy how much they've changed. So anyways, let's go and load this. I think we're just about full. Yeah, we're full anyways, so yeah, it's leaps and bounds better than what they used to be. Like, you know, you go back, you know, not 10 years. If you go back a lot longer than that, let's say 50 years, and they had open cab combines. Like, that's just crazy. One sec, coffee break. I hope you didn't hear that. I suspect you guys did, though. Bless you. Sorry, girlfriend sneezing. Yeah, so it's yeah, technology has come a long way from when it used to, in terms of combine technology too. Like now with like the yield monitors and stuff like that, it's just amazing what you're able to do with some of it, actually. So very, very cool stuff. If you've ever got to get a chance to look at a yield, I think it's called a yield map. Really cool to see, and you'll see where certain parts of the field they really produce, and there are parts that really don't. And that's the kind of stuff they use for. Ooh, back up a little bit. That's the stuff they use for just getting the information they need for like nutrients and whatnot as well. So like, if you have a low spot in your field, a lot of times what will happen is you'll be like, okay, what's going on here? Like, is it wet? Is it, have a low nutrient count? Lots of possibilities there. So very cool to see what the reasons might be. Not always the best reasons, or not always the best what you really want to find out, but a lot of cases you need to find out what's going on in certain areas of your farm, so you can respond accordingly, basically. As you can see, this field is ready to go as well. We just don't have a header for it right now, so we're going to see what happens with that. I don't think our combine's full yet, which is good. I don't think it's even 80% yet, actually. There we go. I do like this. I think it has to be the ground or the real terrain mod. Like, that is just fantastic. See how it adjusts? That's amazing. And our combine's 80% full again. So this is one of the funny things about, not funny things, but one of the things about corn, of course, is that very high yielding crop. Not always the most profitable. It really depends on the time of the year, the price of corn, of course, and your yield. So it really, there's quite a few factors. Oh sure, now you stop. There's quite a few factors that are involved, of course. So, all right, there we go. And he's only going to unload 20%, so I'm just going to hop out and hop into this guy real quick and turn him off. Otherwise, he's going to just keep going. So, this is a combine basically based on the Cat Lexion, and one of the things you have to keep in mind is the fact that I actually had to adjust this so it's a bit more realistic, because before it wasn't realistic at all. It had just a silly amount of where are we here? Just a silly amount of capacity. I think it was like, I want to say it was something in the area of 50,000 liters, something like that. Just ridiculous. Anyways, let's go unload this guy. Yeah, just a silly amount of capacity. So it's the way it goes. Sometimes, though, you have situations where people adjust mods. Sometimes you find really cool mods. You're just like, oh, that's a kind of a neat little mod there, and then you realize it's not really good for your purposes, just because of, for whatever reason, really. There we go. It's a better angle this time. Yeah, it's quite odd to see how things all work out. So one of the things I noticed is that this cultivator right here, it gets really dirty really fast. It's not dirty right now. I guess it got cleaned off. It rained, I think, when I was fast forwarding time, so it got cleaned off, but it got dirty. By the time I finished cultivating all that land, it was pretty dirty. Same thing with this thing as well. So I do like this seeder, though. Very cool. And I did have to buy a fertilizer spreader just so we got some appropriate yield, which is good. Alright, that guy should be done. He is indeed. Let's go back to the combine. I imagine the combine's not quite full yet, though. So, one of the things I was thinking about doing is, as I mentioned before, is having a orchard somewhere on field 14. That's an idea that I was thinking about, mainly because field 14 is a nice small field, so it'll kind of be a we'll make it a small, high-yielding area, because of course fruit in this game is very profitable. So that's something I was considering. Let me know what you think. If you think we should do that, by all means. It's funny. I don't know if everybody saw it, but there's a huge strip where I drove through the field there. That was when I was testing out the map. I was just trying some different vehicles out and stuff. That's the reason why that's right there. And I guess I just didn't. Reset the map. That's funny. Oh goodness. Combine's not quite coming back yet. One of the things to keep in mind, of course, is with the drive control mod. I'll try and put a card up right now for that. The drive control mod, you can adjust, or you can set it up so your speed matches the speed of the combine, which is one of the coolest features of it. So if you like to unload, for example, like I'm doing right now, or if you following a forage harvester, for example, having that capability is really nice. So like as I get close to the combine here, let's get right here, and then I set my cruise control. So what happens is it automatically matches the speed, and you can increase or decrease. So if you watch the tutorial on how to do that, one of the cooler aspects of the drive control mod for stuff like this, because it does make things just a heck of a lot easier, especially when you're unloading. Because before, without the drive control mod, trying to unload the combine was actually pretty difficult. It's a cool little screenshot there. Take that. Yeah, it was actually a little bit more difficult. Like, you can still do it, but I find it's really nice to have the capability of doing what I just did there and just match the speed up. So, excellent. But the nice thing is, of course, like in this scenario, because we're harvesting corn, high-yielding crop, you can just stay beside the combine, because what's going to happen is if you don't stay beside the combine, on this pass specifically, because you don't want to drive all over the crops, right? So with this pass specifically, it allows you to just make sure the combine's fully unloaded, so then at the end of this pass you can unload completely and all that jazz. So it all depends. There's different ways to do it. Some people will probably stay with the combine the whole pass, and other people would probably only unload at a certain spot. But this way we at least keep our combine rolling, which is good, because they're expensive to run. Technically, in real life, they are really expensive to run. Like, I don't know how much it costs to run a combine, but it's not cheap. Generally, you only have a combine when you have enough land to warrant having a combine, basically, because they are expensive. Like this combine right here in real life, I think is like somewhere in the area of $350 to like $500,000, just to put that in perspective, right? So like people who aren't farmers are like, oh, like farmers, they have so much money, they see all this big equipment or whatever. I'm like, usually a lot of times farmers aren't necessarily in the red, or in the black. They're usually in the red. So a lot of cases, not always. It really depends on the scenario, but it's very difficult to be a successful farmer in this day and age, that's for sure. So, alright. So, what I'm gonna let happen is, I think this is a nice small field, so it's only gonna take a few passes of this to actually finish. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to unload this, and I'll be back in a moment, and I think I'll start driving the combine. I'll be back in a sec. Alright, so here we are driving the combine now. It's funny, I'm not sure if this header is a typical header in North America. I don't know, actually. It's possible it is, but I don't know for certain. I don't know if there's like a common header that you often see. I'm not sure. It's one of those strange things. I don't know. There's so much about farming I don't know about, which is always the case, right? Oops. I guess I'm full. Should have been paying attention there. Oh, engine speed. Does it say how full we are here? No, it doesn't. Oh, that's unfortunate. It just says the engine speed. Huh. And the speed, I suppose. Yeah. But doesn't show how full we are. Oh, that's really strange. Alright. Let's turn the combine back on. It's not going to turn back on until we unload a little bit. Come on. There we go. There we go. But, yeah, lots of technology around farming these days, and so much stuff. It's like there's, you know, they're discovering new things all the time. So, for example, they're discovering, you know, let's say new things that are threatening crops. For example, like I was reading an article earlier on today about California. And one of the strange things about California, for me at least, because it doesn't make any, because I'm from Ontario and it's not a problem here, is that a lot of people in California have a lot of problems when it comes to getting moisture into the ground. So they have to have like huge irrigation systems and whatnot in order to irrigate their soil. Another crazy thing is the fact that they also have, they actually pay for water too in order to irrigate their crops, which is another strange concept for me. Again, because I'm from Ontario and water is very plentiful here, which we're very fortunate for. We're very fortunate to have that capability. So, yeah, it's the things you don't realize, like stuff like that. Like I had no idea California. I knew California was hot, but I didn't realize it was in the farming world. It was that much of a significant issue. I think they were saying if this is the pricing scheme, it was you paid on a foot. I think it was per foot acre, I want to say, or something like that. Shoot, I forget what the unit was, but it's like if you were going uphill, is like $50 a foot or something like that, and if it was downhill, then you paid like 26. But I'm like, you're paying for water, like it's nuts. I understand like why they're paying for water, but some things you just don't realize, like that, for example, like here in Ontario, like I don't know. Almost anywhere, like you run into a drought scenario for us, it's like, oh, it hasn't rained in a couple weeks. Like a drought scenario for other places is like it hasn't rained in like months. So I don't know. It all depends on the summer. We had a big thunderstorm here the other day, actually. So actually, just before that, it was really good fishing, strangely enough. So I didn't go fishing that day. I was working on some other stuff, but one of my buddies, he went fishing, and he said it was really good fishing that day. So right before a storm, apparently that's a good time to fish. There's always a good time to fish. Basically, every time, this is what I've heard more than once. Anytime when you can go fishing is a good time to fish. You may not always catch fish though, but it's always a good time to fish. So, all right. What we'll do is we will crest the driver here real quick. Oh, he's already here. So we'll just unload completely, because he's not going to be able to do anything past that. Excellent. He's going to be full before we fully empty. Watch this. He's at 100% now. Yeah, well, it's not the end of the world, I guess. Not the end of the world. There we go. Perfect. Let's get this. There we go. And I suspect what will happen is we will have to move out of the way midway through this pass, because we're going to full up, and before that tractor is back unloading, I suspect that'll be the case. So one thing that's kind of cool is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it looks like the person, what happens is when dual tires like this, so you can see I've got dual tires on this combine, often what happens is the tracks aren't modeled for both of them, they only do it for one. So if you have dual tires on, often it won't appear as two tracks, it'll only appear as one track, or one tire track essentially. And that's because the person, whoever made the mod, didn't didn't set it up properly. But you can see here, like right here along this way, that's where the Massey Ferguson's been, and this is where the Combine's been. But you can see the dual tires. If you have tractors or mods where you press a button and the tires appear, then normally what happens with those ones is that they're not modeled. But if you purchase the dual tires, then those times is when it usually models the second set of tires too. So, well, perfect. All right, so what I'll do, I think, is turn this off for a quick sec. What I'll do is I'll finish up this field off camera. Let me know what you would like to see next. Let me see how much money we have. We have $17,000, and we do have the capability of starting an orchard. Technically, apples. What is this? That's cherries, plums, oranges. I believe this is supposed to be Arkansas. I want to say this map is. We have olives, berries, grapes. I think those are. Pears. So we have the capability of doing that, and that could be on field number 14. So let me know what you'd like to see on the map, and we will go from there. Let me know, and yeah, that's pretty much how we'll go from there. Anyways, my name's Iain Robson. This has been Farming Simulator 2015, coming at you from Valley East, USA. And if you enjoyed yourself, why don't you go ahead and hit that share button? I really appreciate that. Catch you guys later.